Hey, how you doing, guys? ZedEye here. So I wanted to discuss regarding of a possibility that we perhaps could see Grand Theft Auto 4 port as well coming out sometime soon after with its, with the release of the Red Dead Redemption port as well. Now, of course, I want to mention that there still is even a possibility in a few extra years we may even see a Grand Theft Auto 4 remastered as well. Now, I'm gonna go on a limb and I'm gonna say even further crazy things. As an example, that we could even see possibly a Grand Theft Auto 4 remake in the far future. Now, if this actually is a possibility, now of course with a remake that's far less likely, but there still is a possibility. Alright, so I wanted to touch on regarding of the Grand Theft Auto 4 port first of all, and perhaps should we see this port to be similar as was done for the Red Dead Redemption. Now personally, I would much rather see a remaster first, right? I don't want to see a port, but nevertheless, it's not as if like Rockstar's gonna listen to us, because like obviously they're gonna do what they feel the best, and how much money depends of course on this development that will be necessary as well for kind of improvements to including as well. And as such, that's why I mentioned that perhaps they will go with the similar route. Maybe they'll go with the port first, and maybe perhaps in the future of a remaster, then a few extra years after that, or even a decade, I do not know, we could even see a remake. Now, I do not expect Rockstar themselves making this. I do think that Take-Two or Rockstar are the ones that are going to be outsourcing this game to somebody else in the development, and to make sure that they will be able to create these, port, remasters, remakes, right? Because like it's been already clarified that Rockstars are, they're not into remaking or remastering games anyway. They're not really into it. What they want to do is basically make brand new titles that are very ambitious and very big step ups compared to what they've done already before. Of course, we'll have to wait and see for the next big game from Rockstar, obviously being Grand Theft Auto 6. As genuinely will be interesting. And now that's the question here I have to definitely ask. Grand Theft Auto 6, because of the release of Grand Theft Auto 6, I really do doubt that Rockstar would like to have another big game, even being if it is a port or remaster, kind of getting in the way of the Grand Theft Auto 6's release. And as such, it's been clarified that there's a big possibility that Grand Theft Auto 6 will be coming out at the end of 2024. Now, personally, I don't believe that it will be coming out in the end of 2024, but I do believe that it will be announced to be coming out in 2024. Now, I do think there will be a delay. It's very, very normal for Rockstar to do this. And also, I do think that 2025, at the end of 2025, will be the official proper release date for Grand Theft Auto 6, that we will actually see it and we actually will be playing it. And also, now with that, Grand Theft Auto 4 port first of all, when could we perhaps expect it to be released? And as such, I think, if I'm being quite optimistic, I think this time next year would be the best time to release a Grand Theft Auto 4 port. I don't believe they're gonna go with the remaster, since it seems like Rockstar, like I said, is going with a similar route as they have done with the Red Dead Redemption. Now, there still is a possibility that maybe it will not be a port, it will be a remaster for Grand Theft Auto 4, but again, I kind of doubt it. Okay, so what kind of improvements? Of course, nevertheless, you can definitely expect the regular and normal improvements as usually would be seen in the remasters, right? So, for example, 4K implementations with the fidelity improvements, ray tracing mode as well included, also including the performance increases from the 30 to 60 FPS. Maybe they could go even further, since it is on PlayStation 5. Maybe they could go 120 FPS. I kind of doubted that they'll go that far, but we can dream about these sort of stuff, can't we? I do not think there will be at all a multiplayer for Grand Theft Auto 4. I think that will be removed straight up. I don't think for even a port or even a remaster or even a remake they will not be having any sort of a multiplayer, because Rockstar would much rather have all of the player base in Grand Theft Auto 6 multiplayer instead of having some player base in Grand Theft Auto 4 multiplayer. And as such, this also means they can cut down on the development time, so they can concentrate only on the single player part. Yes, I do think that the episodes from Liberty City stories are indeed going to be present here, like a full complete package. This means that the Ballad of Gay Tony and also The Lost and the Damned are going to be all in one package with the original title Grand Theft Auto 4. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I hope it's actually going to be a fantastic game implementation and also good polish. And you know, since we are talking about a remaster, I want to say that few additional changes and improvements definitely will be necessary. Updated UI and also, you know, just more of a quality of life improvements as well. I definitely think it's necessary for this sort of a title, especially with the button layout, the controls layout and stuff like that, and maybe a few additional fixes and maybe even a little bit of changes. Now, this is maybe a little bit controversial, but I'll include it in here just a tiny bit. I think they should actually do something about the driving and how it feels. I think they should actually kind of touch up the driving, kind of make it more, slightly bit more arcade. But of course, do not go so far as Grand Theft Auto 5 did. I think that realism in terms of what we've seen already from Grand Theft Auto 4 in 2008 needs to stay, but kind of make it, maybe make the cars not be so slippery on the road, if that makes sense, right? But yeah, I don't know if that's really necessary, but also I want to say that this may be important, the combat, the shooting. Okay, well, as you may know, shooting in Grand Theft Auto 4 is very inaccurate, and especially when you're trying to aimbot basically at a police officer or whatever, right? And you're trying to shoot, you're gonna have to be preservative, and then you can land proper shots. But if you let it, spray and pray, unfortunately, you won't basically not land many shots, if at all. And this is actually quite apparent, especially in a multiplayer mode, but I would even say maybe take the combat or the shooting mechanic from Grand Theft Auto 5 and implement it in here. Now, another thing definitely would be nice to have improvements for, as an example. I'm not too sure if I remember this right. It's been a while since I played Grand Theft Auto 4 as well. But like maybe you could have like a weapon wheel whenever you want to change your weapons while you're in a vehicle. So you can change to a grenade, pistol, mini Uzi whenever you're using it while you're inside the car. And of course you can have a weapon wheel and you can choose that direction, right? And of course maybe include the I'm not too sure, didn't Grand Theft Auto 4 also never had a wheel of radio wheel as well? I don't think it actually had that. Man, it's been a while. And if it doesn't, definitely please include that. That would be wonderful. And since I'm talking about a remaster, yes, please include better visuals in terms of the, well, brightness. I'm not talking about being that New York needs to be gritty and depressing style in terms of very gray and tone and brownish. You can definitely keep that, but spicy up with terms of the colors of vehicles and few colors and additions as well, right, with the brightness. And I think this will be necessary, and still having the ray tracing mode included in here, I think it definitely will be a step up in terms of the fidelity. Now again, we have to make sure that the style and the atmosphere is bleak, because this is New York and it is Grand Theft Auto 4 style story, and as you guys may know it, Grand Theft Auto 4 style story, well, it's quite depressing and quite dark. And yeah, a lot of things needs to stay the same as it was, and yes, I'm talking about in terms of the story, I do think it needs to stay the same. Of course, other than that, bugs, glitches, few things, additional fixes, of course, few things they could add and also exclude, for example, new clothing options. Yeah, it will be definitely would be nice. But again, this is more or less, you know, of the wish list that I'd love to see in a remaster. I definitely do not expect anything as such or sorts in the port of the version of Grand Theft Auto 4, but nevertheless, you can dream about this sort of stuff, can't we? I'm still looking forward to it. I hope this actually comes into fruition. Then a remake will be wonderful as well. Have better facial expressions and the animations and all that good stuff. Of course, that will be a different story and a very big step up in terms of that as well. And yeah, having a port, then a few years later having a remaster, and then afterwards, few years, well, much later than that, having a remake of Grand Theft Auto 4 will be absolutely incredible. Alright guys, that's all I wanted to have a little bit of a discussion for today. Do let me know what you think about a port of Grand Theft Auto 4, a remaster of Grand Theft Auto 4, and also a remake of the Grand Theft Auto 4. Now before I go, I want to mention guys that I'm actually not at home. This is a more or less, well it's not more or less, this is a scheduled video. I've actually planned to release this a little earlier, before the even release of the Red Dead Redemption port. Because I'm actually away for about a week. I'll be back, of course. I will have plenty of reviews, plenty of things, plenty of topics to talk about, because I know there's some interesting things that will be on the horizon during the time when I will be gone. Alright, like and subscribe. See you guys all, and have a wonderful day.